Good evening everyone. Now before the video starts, I wanted to show you something. If you watched my last video, you will know that I was looking for a book called You're Awesome, which I could not find for laughing, but if you have a look, it's right here. This one here. I'm going to put it out, show you the front, although it matches the one I showed you. This is it. Book. I started reading it, then I decided to make the vlog. See, by Matthew Side, and apparently Dermot O'Leary liked it. So you wish he had this book as a kid, but I think he's done alright for himself. Now let's see if I can get you back in. Yeah, I done it. Because I am the man. Good evening everybody. Tonight is going to be a short one because I have a sore throat. And obviously I don't want it to be even worse afterwards. Although I have a feeling it's going to be even worse in the morning, but that's the problem for tomorrow. Now in case you're wondering, I am back from London. Actually that should have been made very apparent when I was able to edit my last video. When I said it was going to be several days late and it wasn't. But anyway, I'll talk about it slightly. You're going to see pictures of it, or pictures that I took. Obviously, as I said, I went to Wembley with my dad. We saw Wimbledon beat Walsall. They're now in League One. Football fans will know what that means. If you don't like football, then well, there's not much I can say. This is going to be mostly me talking about football and my day out of football. So, if you stick around, you have been warned. Now, we drove up from home all the way up to Brent Cross. It was actually a really good day because the engine light in my car is no longer on. Now I know that's massive for me anyway. Actually massive. I remember because we parked up at Box Hill, that little bikers cafe. If you know, you know. On the A24 this is. And we stopped to use the bathroom because, as I said to my dad, I don't know when the next one's going to be. And neither of us are keen on paying to do our natural ablutions, if you will. And when I got back in the car, the engine light was no longer on. So, result. Absolute result. Anyway, it was an uneventful drive. It was bank holiday, so there wasn't a lot of traffic. We drove up the A24. Then we headed to the A3 around Richmond Park. Past Kew Gardens, over the bridge, or over the river I should say. Well, it is a bridge that goes over the river. Past Brentford and past Ealing and a few other places. We parked at Brent Cross Shopping Centre. Walked around there for about an hour or so. And bought nothing because it's quite posh and very expensive. But the parking was free. So that was a bonus. We had lunch and a cup of tea. We left the car at the car park because you can park there all day for free, which is great. And then we got the bus to Wembley. We saw the game. I will be treating you all to pictures right about now, so it was a great day. No video footage because I don't want the EFL to sue the living crap out of me. I'm sure it'd be them. Maybe Wembley Stadium would sue me as well, and maybe the FA would as well. Then I would be regretting my existence. But it was a great day. Wimbledon won. I think it was 2-0. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it was. We had fun. We got the bus back to Brent Cross. The bus terminated at Neasden, unfortunately for us, but then we got lunch, or I should say dinner at chicken, which wasn't KFC. I think it was called Sam's or something. It was okay. It was more than edible for us that night. Then we went back to the Travelodge, which was also at Brent Cross. We watched a bit of TV. If you saw the post, you'll realise we watched Last of Someone at some point. It was an interesting evening. Now, coming from a small town, or big village, whatever you want to call this place I live in, you tend to get used to certain things. It's like where I live now, it's just houses. You get a few shops, the odd block of flats, not many, but it's mostly just houses and houses really. And the sights of the city are something else. And from the window of my hotel room, you could see a construction site and lots of roads, lots of cars, and there was a train track which had a train go by what felt like every 10 minutes. You also had those big bright advertisements which you'll be seeing in the picture now, so you'll get a better idea than I could ever describe it. In a way, really, it's very dystopian, the bright lights of the city and how they can impact sights and everything else, but I was kind of fascinated by it. That's the thing though, when you live in a place like I do, a dystopian cityscape is something very interesting to look at. You've got all the traffic, and you've got the big bright advertisements for Bet365 or whichever one it was. The picture will confirm it, although it's not the best quality picture really, because I was taking it for a window. Obviously the hotel wouldn't actually let you open the window fully because they don't want people to jump out. I don't know if it's them protecting themselves or protecting us. Most likely the first, then the latter. But as I was saying, it was an interesting view for me. Because where I live, you don't get anything. The only lights you get at night are street lights and your car. That's it. So I said, where I live, it's just houses and houses and more houses. You get shops and you get the odd block of flats, but not many. Really, and that's about it really. It's kind of, some people love it, but if you live here, you don't really care for it much. But then again, I also understand that if I lived in the city, this where I live now would be absolute heaven. And where I live would be hell. I get why the view from my hotel was dystopian in some ways. The large advertisements for gambling was something. The traffic was something else as well. Although that fascinates me in a way. It's like I like to look out these windows where you see these big, massive, busy roads and just look at the traffic sometimes. There's something relaxing about it. Sometimes I like to sit there and think, where do all these people go? What exactly is so important that they need to be out that time of night going that fast? Obviously, they got livelihoods to do. Businesses need stuff delivered. Other businesses need stuff to be taken out. People have jobs to go to and everything else. I get that, but it just fascinates me in a way to watch it all. Now, interesting enough, on the way home I got lost. Because me and my dad said we're going to stop in Ealing for breakfast. He was going to treat me to a fry-up. Roseman's breakfast fry-up. They're not bad. They're not, they're no worse about, but they fill a hole. But we followed the signs to Ealing, but then the signs stopped. So we missed Ealing and we said, alright, then let's go to Brentford. Now Brentford had nowhere to park the car, unfortunately. Followed the signs to what was supposed to be a car, but it was all permit only. So I don't know what's happening there. If anyone from Brentford County is watching, sort it out. Sort it out. So he said, screw this, we'll just go to Leatherhead. Because we know there's somewhere there we can get lunch or breakfast. And we know where we can park. Anyway, went south on the A3. And to get back to the A24 on Leatherhead, you got to go around Richmond Park. So you're kind of going down. Then you got to head west for a fair distance. South, then east and south again. But we missed a turn in, which was quite funny. That took us south again after heading east. No, you go south, then to go around Ocean Park, you've got to head east, then south, then west to get to where we were going. But I missed a turn and that would take me south again. And I think we ended up in Wandsworth near Fulham, and we got out eventually, but we lost a lot of time, to say the least. It was interesting though. We had breakfast, which was nice. We did plan to stop at the McDonald's at Buck Barn to treat ourselves to an ice cream, but that was ironically really, really busy. Which does surprise me considering it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought, work day, that place would be almost empty, but no. Completely busy. We couldn't get in. So we just said, oh well, we'll just have a cup of tea when we get home. And we did. And that was that. Then I edited the last video I made. And that was that. Since then, not much has really happened to me. I've gone back in the exercise routine, which is great. I baked a loaf of bread, a wholemeal raisin loaf, although I didn't have raisins, so I had to use sultanas. It's kind of nice, a little bit stodgy though. Then again, I also used instead of using 400 grams of wholemeal flour, I used 350 grams. And I used 50 grams of plain flour. I thought it might make a difference. I thought maybe that's how they do those best of both loaves that you can get, where it's like a bit white, a bit brown. I'm sure that's how they do it. Just mixing the two flours up. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I made the loaf, which was really nice. And that brings me up to now, really. So not much has really happened. But to comment on the post I made about 20 minutes ago, or whenever it was before I started recording this video, I do talk a lot about how I'm unlovable, because that is how I feel a lot of the time. But you might remember this from my previous video where I was talking about the past. Actually, it's the video before last now, that would be. And and things had changed and all that lot. And I got this great comment from a guy called DJ Northmore. I'm pretty certain is someone I used to know in school. I used to know D Northmore in school. I'm pretty certain it's him. I won't give his full name because he might not appreciate that. But if you're watching, hello. Yeah, it's a great comment. And it just got me thinking. Because I say I am unlovable a lot of the time, but I'm not unlovable. I just think I am. And I know there's people watching this who feel the same. Because I've had 1 or 2 comments from people saying the same thing. But you know what? You are lovable. I mean, it's you. You are lovable. You may think you're not, but you are lovable, okay? You are a great person, just as you are. Okay? Remember that. You are lovable. You are capable of being loved. And there are people out there just like you. Just like me, you, and the other people as well. Okay? And they're probably thinking the same thing. I'm unlovable. There's no one like me, but there is. There's tons of us out there, people. Absolute crap ton of us. Okay? There's 6 billion people on this planet. You really think you're going to be the only one who's like you are now? No. We're special, but we're not. And we are unique, but we're not that unique. Okay? Just remember that. And there goes saying they get old, chance me find them are slim. Yeah, they are slim, but you know what? It's not impossible. People win the lottery. I mean, in the ancient days, explorers found places. Look at those, look at the Polynesians. They travelled to all those tiny islands in the Pacific on those tiny little canoe things. You know? And they found that. The chances were next to impossible considering how flipping large and sparse the Pacific is, but they've done it. And you can find someone too, if that's what you want. of course. I mean, you don't have to, because nothing in this world is mandatory. You don't have to find people, but if you want to find someone, try it. You know? Find an interest. Locate an interest of yours. Or decide which one, okay? And just join a message board or something. Or Facebook groups. It's like, as I mentioned before, one of my favourite TV shows is Bob's Burgers. So I started a little group on Facebook for single people who like the show. So I thought it would be great, you know. People can sign up, they can talk to each other, and we've all got at least one thing in common. I mean, granted, the group is inactive because no sod wants to start a post, but you know what? It's a start. You know? And I tried it, and I tried something. And you should do the same. If that's what you want, of course. I mean, if you're sitting, standing, or walking, or whatever you're doing when you're watching / listening to me, think of an interest that you really like, that you want other people to meet other people interested in, and start a group, or even find a group or start one. You never know. You could make a friend. More or whatever you want. You never know, people. Okay. I spent a lot of my life not doing these things, okay, because I was always scared, you know. I let one or two bad experiences in my earlier years affect me for the next 20 odd years. So I wasn't always like this. I remember when I was 16, I had a crush on someone. I won't name them. But I actually spoke to this crush. I actually spoke to him. We never went out or anything. I mean, I asked him out, I think maybe twice over the course of about 2 years. They said no, but you know what? I tried. And that was, well, it's not really gutsy because most people done that at some point in their lives. But the point is, I done it. Which proves that I can do it. But due to future bad dating experiences, I said no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Nothing will work out. So I'm just going to sit at home and, you know, isolate myself. And it's done me no good at all. It's just left me pining for company and other things, which I won't go into. But I've had friends. I still have friends now. We don't talk, but technically doesn't mean you're not friends. I mean, on one or two previous posts, an old friend of mine who I've actually, you know, been social with has commented, and we've had little conversations. They even said next time I'm in a city that's close to them, they would show me around, which I thought was damn cool. It's really nice of them, and I'm going to take them up on that offer one day. Next time I go into that part of the world. I won't name the area because I'm not too sure they'd like it, but, well, I can't now because I spent this big amount of time avoiding it. But, you know, that's life. The point is, if you want something, try. You know? I'm not saying go up to a complete stranger and say, hello. You know, just start a Facebook group. You know, you never know. You might find someone who has another niche interest as you, or thinks the same thing about a certain thing. You never know. I mean, for example, if you're, say, opposed to the pedestrianisation of Norwich City Centre, you might find other like-minded people. Or if you support the continued pedestrianisation of Norwich City Centre, you might find people who are into that too. You never know. So, instead of doing what I do, okay, and standing there saying nothing good will ever come to me, try. You may fail, you may succeed, but try it. You never know what could happen. Don't do what I did, okay? Don't isolate yourself, okay, because you think it's all crap and none of it's going to work out, okay? Because eventually, okay, you'll reach a point where you think, it's too late now. There's nothing for me to do. I've been talking for 20 plus minutes, for about 20 minutes now. Considering I've got a sore throat, I really should stop. So I'm going to stop this now actually, because my throat's starting to hurt a little bit. So try something. I mean, okay, flipping try something. Okay, try something. Okay, you never know what could happen. But until then, I'm James. Bye.